let's leave TV behind for a moment and move on because there's still movies to discuss. And while movie theaters have largely remained closed in 2020, there were no shortage of amazing films that came out this year. Now we have some year-end best of lists like the best horror movies of 2020 up for you now on Nerdist.com, but we're going to get into our favorite movies right here. So my question to the panel is, and Karen, we're going to start with you. What is the best new release you saw this year?
You know what's really interesting about this? Because you said like not in movie theater. We're gonna move away from TV and we're gonna talk movies. And I'm like, well, we couldn't go to movies, so I watched all my movies on my TV.
In your home theater.
So I gotta say that I was really one that I really I have to talk about too, and they were actually both on Netflix. One was The Five Bloods, Netflix, Spike Lee, got Delroy Lindo, Jonathan Majors, who was from Lovecraft Country, Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, and the late Chadwick Boseman. I have not been a fan. I admit this freely. I've not been a fan of a lot of Spike Lee's work in the past few years. It's not documentary driven. This was very, very good. And also to have a part of the story, it was just eerie that a part of the story was them, looking for and honoring their late platoon leader. I don't want to give away too much about it. And then losing, Chadwick Boseman months later. That was just, heart-wrenching. But it was some of Spike Lee's best work in this, Vietnam era. And I shouldn't say that we jump back and forth in time. It was really a time, not traveling, but time jumping project that basically was about redemption and about like really trauma and dealing with that trauma and actually having to face it and who's really your family, your real family and your family in the trenches. And that's what that blood was. The Old Guard. I was really, really surprised. I actually sat down to watch The Old Guard, like, all right, it's another comic book that has been adapted. I was pleasantly surprised. The Old Guard being a live action adaptation, Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, a lot of other amazing people in it. I was impressed. So much so, I want another movie. I really hope we can get it in the theaters. But that was one that I really, really enjoyed, and I was surprised a lot by little things that came out on Netflix this year. So I'm gonna say those two because everything I did was mostly streaming.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Invisible Man, which I also loved, but it's hard because this year was very much the year for most of us where you had to watch all your movies at home. I like that both of yours were these like kind of stories that spanned a long period of time with The Old Guard as well. But yeah, both fantastic choices. Ricky, what about you?
Again, sticking with the theme of I just wanted to feel good outside of reality. Onward was a joy. The last movie I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And then Bill and Ted Face the Music was a lot of fun. It was just like, it was exactly what it needed to be. And then a very controversial choice, but something that I was very much looking forward to and had low expectations, of course, but it nailed it, was Hubie Halloween. The most triumphant movie of the entire year. Adam Sandler made a threat that he was going to make the worst movie possible if he didn't get the Oscar win for the phenomenal Uncut Gems. And he failed because he made the best movie of the year with Hubie Halloween. Just a joy. And on like the more like it was still a fun movie, but on the more serious side of things, Palm Springs perfectly encapsulated everything that everyone was going through in like a fun like twist on the Groundhog Day style movie. And it was great. And all of those were like just I didn't see. I mean, I watched like The Five Bloods and it was a fantastic movie, but like it was just I needed to be happy outside of reality this year, and like a lot of those movies hit those buttons for me, especially Hubie. And I know that like it's always fun to rag on Adam Sandler like comedy movies, but it was just so dumb And it was the perfect, like, it was just like, it's Halloween. We can't even go anywhere for Halloween. Stay inside and watch like the dumbest comedy possible. And it was just like, it was the joy that I needed.
You are not the first person I've heard who is unironically saying they enjoyed Hubie Halloween, to the point where I'm like, okay, like, look, they need, like, there is a purpose, especially in a year like this. You just kind of want to like enjoy yourself. Like, look, there's been some phenomenal movies this year that I've been putting off watching for that exact reason, where I'm like, I don't know if I can take this level of like emotional devastation yet. I want to process this art when I'm on the level where I can actually process it. So I think that definitely going to be saving some of these.
No, I agree. And that's
Go ahead.
With a lot of the stuff that's being announced with HBO Max, where it's like, hey, all these movies are coming to HBO Max, and it's like, great, but I'm not going to watch Tenet at home. I'm not going to watch Dune at home. I'm going to wait until the inevitable re-release in theaters. Like, there's no way I'm going to watch Dune on my TV. Like, I will wait until this pandemic is over. I have a vaccine, and I will go to the theater and watch that movie there. But like, and that's another reason why my list is like all goofy stuff. Cause it's like, it's different on TV. You can watch a comedy or an animated film, I think, unless it's like something incredible, like a Miyazaki film you'd want to see in a theater if there's, but like, yeah, it's just, this year was different and I just needed that warm embrace, I guess. I don't know. So
I feel you, man. I feel you. You're definitely not alone in that feeling. This is a year where like comfort food was it's sorely needed in every aspect. But Sam, what about you? What was your favorite release of 2020?
Yeah, you mentioned Invisible Man. That was something in theaters before all of this happened and before I was very much like, I need comfort food. That movie is not comforting in any particular way, especially someone who has experienced sexual assault and stuff. So it was very like visceral, but it was amazing. Also, movies I saw before the world ended, Harley Quinn, I think, was just a triumph. It was everything I wanted and more. Yeah, totally. Like, it just blew me away how great it was, and I could watch it over and over again. I think it's wonderful. I want more DC movies like that. I also saw Emma. Obviously, Anna Taylor-Joy is permeating my list this year, but Emma is like the single horniest Jane Austen adaptation I've ever seen, and just for that, it like it's so funny and good. Like, I love stuff like that. Obviously, period drama fan. So Emma is really, really great, and also a good like at home. Does not need to be a big screen watch, I think. So if you're looking for something cute and you know, horny on Maine, definitely that. But my Ricky totally mentioned this already, but my favorite was Palm Springs. Love Andy Samberg. I'm like obsessed with time loop stories. All my favorite episodes of TV are always like the time loop episodes. I love Groundhog Day. I love, you know, it's part of the reason I think Hades is so good. I love that people like games that build in the time loop mechanic. And I thought it was such a wholesome, like cute, original take on the time loop thing. And I love that it had a happy ending and it was cute. And like, I don't know, I feel like Andy Samberg is maybe like the last non-problematic celebrity. And I really embrace that. And so, yeah, I thought it was so cute. More cute movies like that. Hulu is pretty good at grabbing films like that. So yeah, I really dug it.
I'm very excited for Chippendale Rescue Rangers with Andy Samberg.
And John Mulaney.
And John Mulaney, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, what an unexpected 1-2 punch. That was like maybe the announcement outside of the like Marvel and Star Wars of it all that I was most excited for.
Oh
there.
yeah.
But I definitely hard agree with Palm Springs. I think I've watched far fewer new movies this year. I've noticed.
Me too,
and like, especially compared to previous years, like I would be consuming them like by the dozens. This year, I have a lot of catching up to do. But
I think that element of going to the theater is such a core part of that, especially for movie people, which I assume we all are, but like that element of like going out, experiencing a film in a crowd of people who are also there to experience the film. Like when you take that away, I find that the impetus to watch movies is not the same for me on my couch, like with most of the lights on, like going to get a snack every 5 minutes. It doesn't have that like magic, I think.
Yeah, like for me, I probably watch like maybe one movie a week, but like I would I would love, like, my favorite thing in the world is going to the movie theater. And in the
Yeah.
summertime in Los Angeles, they do something called Cinespia, where they take over this cemetery called Hollywood Forever, and they show movies with a big communal like audience, and everyone brings a picnic, and it's just this joyous experience that's just been missing for me this year. But something, and this film actually kind of speaks to that a little bit. It hasn't come out yet. It's coming out on Disney Plus on Christmas Day, and Karima just did interviews with the cast of this movie for us, which you can watch on Nerdist.com, is Soul, the new Pixar movie with Jamie Foxx, and it is just so good.
It's a wonderful feel-good movie. I was going to recommend that to Ricky. I was going to recommend it to Ricky because if you need if you just need like a candy cane and happiness, watch this movie.
I've been as soon as they announced that it was coming straight to Disney Plus, it was one of those things where I was just like, I am so excited. And then on Christmas, I'm just like, this is going to be so much fun because I was very much looking forward to this anyway, and I'm ecstatic to hear that it's really great. So yes, very excited.
It's I like definitely got a little teary in multiple parts. There's just so much.
So
it's Pixar. You are going to cry. Like I'm sorry, candy cane, cake, tissues, and that's Christmas Day. That's what's happening.
And like I think that it's going to be a fantastic Christmas Day watch. It's something that I'm like is one of like. I can't say this very often. Sometimes I need more time to pass, but this is a movie that I really want to rewatch when it comes out. Like, I'm very excited to revisit this movie because it is life affirming in the best way possible in a year where I have been really searching for that feeling. And I am very excited for other people to get to experience that in the same way that I did. I think it's definitely a good way to cap off the year. And after that, I don't know, just do a double feature with Wonder Woman 1984. It's coming out that day too. So you can, have some action adventure and then have some introspection.
I have Roku, so my prayers were answered yesterday. So HBO Max just in time, like right before the finish line.
I've definitely a friend of mine is a publicist there, and I saw him post on Facebook. He was like, huge sigh of relief, and I'm very happy for the folks over there who are just like, please hammer this deal out so we can just put our content out for the world. I think that
was great. The Harley Quinn and Onward were two movies that I think I watched 3 times this year each. Just over, like Harley Quinn, I saw twice in theaters before the world ended.
Me too.
That's how good. I went immediately back and saw it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I've been craving a breakfast sandwich all year long because of Birds of Prey. It is so.
I was searching on like Yelp in LA, like what is the most like resembling that sandwich in Los Angeles? Like was on Yelp, just trying to find it.